Hello, and welcome back to Art Walks. Today we explore 4 remarkable works from the National Gallery of Canada, each offering a glimpse into different moments in history, portraits, mythology, everyday life, and quiet contemplation. So if you're ready, let's begin today's Art Walk. We start with this striking portrait by Elisabeth Louise Vigée Brun, one of the most celebrated portrait painters of her time. The subject, Countess Anna Ivanovna Tolstaya, is painted with an unusual sense of intimacy. What stands out most to me is the directness of her gaze. There's something honest and unpretentious about this portrait. Almost as if we're catching the Countess in a quiet, personal moment. Rather than elaborate gowns and aristocratic settings typical of earlier portraits, she is seated within nature, dressed in much simpler clothing. This reflects the growing influence of Enlightenment ideals, where reason, nature, and personal expression became increasingly valued. Next, we step into the world of mythology with Venus presenting arms to Aeneas, painted by Restout the Younger. This dramatic composition comes from Virgil's Aeneid, one of the great epic poems of ancient Rome. Here we see Venus, the goddess of love, presenting her son Aeneas with enchanted weapons, preparing him for the battles ahead. Aeneas is destined to lay the foundation for what will become the Roman Empire, and this moment marks a turning point in his journey. There's an epic quality to this piece. Restout's dramatic lighting, flowing drapery, and dynamic poses give the scene a theatrical energy, making it feel almost cinematic. It's the perfect style for a subject of such legendary proportions. From mythology, we move to the subtle drama of everyday life. This is The Letter by James Tissot, and it's one of those paintings that always catches my eye when walking through the gallery. At first glance, it really does almost look like a photograph. The level of detail is remarkable, but it's the story within the image that makes it so intriguing. A woman, elegantly dressed, walks across the garden holding a letter. There's a sense of secrecy. She appears to be sneaking away. Meanwhile, the butler in the background glances towards her from the corner of his eye. Did she notice him? Does he know something that she doesn't? And then there's the path. She's stepping off it, moving through the grass instead. Is this a subtle metaphor, suggesting she's going outside the expected boundaries of life? Her expression hints at quiet determination. She knows the weight of her actions, but she's going forward anyway. This is the kind of painting that invites endless speculation, making it a fascinating piece to return to time and time again. Our final piece is Still Life by Gustave Courbet. At first, it may seem like a simple arrangement of fruit and flowers, but there's a deeper story here. Courbet painted this while imprisoned for his role in the 1871 uprising of the Paris Commune. With no access to landscapes or models, he turned to the only subjects available to him, fruits and flowers brought by his sister Zoe and his friends. This context transforms the painting. These aren't just objects, they represent connection, resilience, and the care of loved ones. Even in confinement, Courbet found a way to create, capturing beauty and life in the stillness of his cell. That brings us to the end of this episode of Art Walks. From grand historical moments to quiet, personal reflections, these works remind us of the many ways art tells stories. Which painting stood out to you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you ever get the chance, I highly recommend visiting the National Gallery of Canada in person. Seeing these works up close is an experience like no other. As always, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next Art Walk. Until then, keep exploring and stay inspired.